Hey, how y'all doing, everybody? It's the one and only Castle Marquise, and I'm here to drop another story with y'all. Now, this story kind of really bothered me because it dealt with an actual family member who, she'll always be my relative, but I had to put some distance between me and him. And here's why. Excuse me. Coming down with a little bit of allergies. So, I got a cousin named V.A. Okay, reason why we call him VA, two up, two down, is because he's from Virginia, Seven Cities area. You know what I'm saying? Now, from where our family is originally from, we're not from Virginia. You know what I'm saying? But because his family was in the military or whatever, my aunt, he decided, they didn't decide, because you move wherever the military, how they say, by the means of the military. He grew up in Virginia, D.C., Virginia Beach, that area. Anyway, so that's a brief story, right? Now, we didn't really have much of a relationship. In fact, I didn't even think, that cousin liked me at all when I was younger. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But where I'm going to start this part of the story at is when he got kicked out of the military. Okay? So, after graduation, he went into the military. All right? Now, my cousin is cheap. I'm just going to just keep it what it is. And he tries to, get over on people. You know what I mean? He was in the military. Had a great opportunity while in the military. Had a pretty, easy MOS. Could have ranked up real quick and everything else. But he had one problem. He loves to smoke weed. And this story will also explain why, for all those people that believe, okay, weed is not a drug, you see. So, met this girl while he was, she's in the military, he's in the military. I think there's rules against that, but, that's a passe rule. But anyway, one thing leads to another. He ends up getting this girl pregnant. They was dating, because she had cable in her barracks and he didn't. But they was dating. They was together in a relationship. The next thing you know, she got pregnant. So my cousin, having southern roots, he was like, all right, I'm going to marry this girl. Okay, cool. Things is going, pretty decent. She's doing good in her career. He's doing good in his career. All right. Next thing you know, my little cousin is born. All right. Then he pees hot for weed. They bust him down, take a rank, everything else. Next thing you know, they bust him down again. Now he's getting his DD, his DD-15. They kicking him out. You know what I mean? And for those who don't know, in today's time, there's really three discharges out of the military. You got honorable, which you get out, you got all your benefits, you got all the, veteran, this, that, you got all the accolades. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't in the military no more. Okay, it was a, beautiful thing, right? You got dishonorable, which means basically, you did the most, and yeah, don't even tell nobody you in the military. You was in the military, because you probably when I mean did the most, it's like you was basically locked up. They had to lock you up in the military and everything else, and it just went left. Okay, like you did something really, 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 really bad, unforgivable bad. And then you have how most people who, like my cousin, have what they call a failure to adapt, which means it's like we're trying to train you to be a better person, better, serviceman, everything else. But you just saying you just refuse to get it. You refuse to follow the rules. So we're gonna get you this failure to adapt and we sending you home. Long as we tracking, alright, as you were, soldier. So he got that failure to adapt. Boom! They got him out there on a general. That's the third way of getting out of the military. That's the one that, guess what? You was in, we got paperwork that you was in, but you don't get all of the benefits. You don't get all of the perks. It's just basically explaining what you did from this time in your life to this time in your life. That's it. Now, can you work that into a situation? Some companies and corporations don't. Some companies and corporations do. Hey, it all depends, brother. So, he gets out, right? And he has a choice. Either he can go back up to Virginia or he can come down south. Where I'm at. Where the rest of his relatives is. He decides he's going to come down south. He goes to down south. He's staying at grandma's crib. Y'all, everybody know, family member, you probably watching yourself, that grandma crib, sometimes that's where, you got to go. You know what I mean? Because you can't go home. So it is what it is. So right around this time, we link up. Everything's good. All right? So he gets there. I link up with him. Now, that this time, this was like after I made the decision that I need to change my life. For real. Okay? So, a lot of the things that I had going on prior to this is like he came at a time when I was basically back being normal. A normal person. Okay? Alright. So, all of this happens. We link up. Now, the military did kind of hook him up with, he was getting like free courses at the college that's on base. Alright, he's taking the courses or whatever. He meets this chick. Nice chick. They become cool, everything else. Next thing you know, she helps him get a job. Like, she was like, hey, give me your resume. Gets the resume. I mean, everybody got the resume. It was so bad, the dude that hired him was like, when he finally sat down and did the interview, he was like, man, I done got your resume from like 4 different people. My boss, my boss's boss, another person in the department, everything else. Bruh, who do you know? Everything good. Okay, boom. So now it goes from grandma's crib, his own crib, bills are starting to get caught up. Everything's good. Now, during that time, though, they're estranged. She gets kicked out of the military. She has my little cousin. She bounces off, goes to Colorado. Alright, whatever. Boom. So, they arguing like cats and dogs, cats and dogs, cats and dogs, cats and dogs. This whole entire time, right? Because, she's under, you ain't taking care of things, da-da-da-da-da, woo-woo-woo, this whole entire 9. So, cats and dogs. So one day, now that he got everything going good for himself, I got an apartment and everything, I see like, man, I want my family back. Like, I had to bounce back from the military. Everything's going good. Let's go. I'm like, you sure? Because it sounds like y'all about to get a divorce. Nah, see, you don't understand. She got my seed, son. You see, you ain't got no kids. She got my seed, son. I'm like, This motherfucker is clearly spitting in your face. Excuse me, YouTube. This person is clearly spitting in your face, but you know what? You on, man. Go do your thing, partner. I even extend my services to help her get a job at where I'm at. Now she making just as much money as me. People at my job is asking them like, who does she know? How she know all the tricks of the trade? Okay. He moved her back. Everything was good for about maybe 3 weeks before I started noticing the problem. I come over to the crib, which his family back, so he's a little different, but I come over to the crib to kind of check on him, make sure he all right. I look around, there's BB bags, and this bag, that bag, clothes, and I'm like, bro, what you got going on? This is in the years of the recession at that. I'm like, what you got going on? Oh, she went shopping and woo, spending up all the money to a point where there was a couple of times I had to help him get the rent money. Crazy. Like a rag. It went from drippy to wringing it out. Next thing you know, they fighting and arguing again. Causing him to lose everything. Lost the job. Because she want to be petty, hide his swipe badge. He gets locked up. He got to do this. He got to do that. Then she just decide, I'm a female with a child. I'm going to go out there, spend one night in the homeless shelter, and then guess what? They going to give me emergency services. Now she got her own place. Now he can't. He's struggling. He ain't got no job. He on unemployment. It's horrible. So he starts going to school. He's doing some online classes. Parents hook him up. We get new cars. Everything's supposed to be going good. Next thing you know, he starts to come up a little bit. Now he goes back. Now he goes back with her. Drippy again, like a rag. Wrings it out. Now he back to square one. Now the divorce comes. Now the child support comes. So needless to say, that marriage and that relationship just didn't work. A couple of years go by of him doing his own thing. Next thing you know, VA, he got a new girl. Younger chick. Nice. I went to school with her. Cool. I decided to change my life again. Now I'm not in the city. I'm gone. I'm traveling the world at this time. Next thing you know, guess who got married? I'm like, who? VA? Again? Who he got married to? Okay. Hey, this one should be no problem. Next thing you know, he wants to run for office. Then he wants to do this. Then he's like, yeah, I'm about to get this big house. Okay, cool. Boom. The office thing failed because this was the only fool in America decides, you know what? If I read the 48 Laws of Power in the Art of Seduction, I don't need no money or nobody to back me. I can just run for office. People will listen. That goes left. But he does, get back on his feet, get back on his grind. Gets the house, everything's going cool. Next thing you know, he like, yeah, I want a baby. I'm about to get her pregnant like ASAP. I'm like, why? He like, man, nah, you know what I'm saying? I try to get my son back, my first wife, she's still acting funny, woo. I'm like, but dude, she been cheating on you while y'all was married and everything. Like, all this stuff is out. And I'm like, all right, that's over with. But why you just need to co-parent and just, but she running me through the system and everything else. Well, she was. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, listen, I didn't know you could be on, you can cause me to lose my job, take me to court, and then and then file for an increase while I ain't got a job, and the judge still rule in your favor to give you an increase. Like, how does this work? So, every time he tries to build a relationship in his truck with his son, not even gonna lie, he does mess it up because he tries to take the son like, hey, at a certain age, you can come live with me. But then it's the way he does things. And fellas, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're in this situation, watch how you do things. Don't create a problem where there isn't a problem. Understand, the person who your child lives with rules the situation. If the child ain't living with you, uphill battle, pimping. So you better tread softly as you swimming in them waters. Just saying. But then, after that goes left, now he's really adamant. I want to have another child. Want to have another child. Want to have another child. I'm like, bruh, for what? So then he tells me his plan. He gonna have 2 new kids. So when he get old, they'll take care of him. He gonna do so right by them. Everything else, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that son there, his mama raised him. Ain't no helping him. He done chose his side. Even if he come back to me later on in life, I don't know that. I'm like, you don't know that? Wait a minute. What about this is your child? This is your, you know what I'm saying? This, that, like, what like, dog, what you got going on, bruh? This will always be, that's your firstborn and all this other back to Africa roots type thing. Like, what was going on? He thinking, I could just hit the reset button with these 2 new lives here and make them feel jealous because make my first child jealous because I got these 2 new kids. Then to make things even worse, that caused little dude when he found out that he about to have a new brother and sister by this and the plan kind of seeped out. Little dude almost tried to end himself. I never agreed with him on that, and it took me a while before we could even talk. Because I told him he was wrong, and it created a gap between us. When at one time we was thicker than thieves. So, we cool now. His life is way worse now. But I ain't gonna put that out there. But the moral and message of the story is, men and women, quit weaponizing your kids. These kids, number one, ain't asked to be here. So I don't care what gripes y'all had. Y'all should have never been messing with each other if it was all about, I'ma treat whatever comes as the spawn of us by how our relationship is. I've always been a person to say, once I have kids, my life is over. It's over. Whatever I ain't accomplished, it's over because everything is about my kids. That's the one thing and I'm going to show you where I really bonded and gelled with this and got it like locked in. I learned from people from, Loud Ocean, Ty, and how they families rock. It's all about paying it forward. It ain't about you no more. It ain't about you. It ain't about him. It ain't about her. And using your kids to make the situation, you know what I'm saying, to get vengeance and all this other stuff, it ain't about that no more. And if you one of them people who is petty, can't let things go and all this other stuff, don't have no kids. Don't have anybody to sit here and sign up on the BS that you got going on. It's your boy Castleball Marquise. Stay tuned for the next story, the Lao Ocean story, and I'm gonna holler at you. Peace.